Hello, my name is Michael Niren, and I'm here to answer some questions. We get a lot of emails, a lot of questions about immigration. Today we got a question about immigration refusals. What happens if your immigration application is refused? Hopefully that's not going to happen to you, but it does happen sometimes. So I'm going to discuss what are the options in case your application is refused. Well, the first thing you can consider is an appeal. And an appeal is a formal process that goes to the court and asks the judge to review the negative decision. And there's different courts involved in the appeal, depending upon the kind of application it is. So for example, if it's an application that's a spousal sponsorship, you could file an application for an appeal to a court called the Immigration Adjudication Division, or IAD. If it's a refusal for a skilled worker application, which is a different type of immigration application, you can file an appeal to the federal court, which is a different court altogether. The other option is the possibility of reapplying. Now, it really depends on the case and it depends on the circumstances, but you can look at your case and consider, well, maybe I didn't put all the information I should have put in the application. Maybe there were some errors I made or my lawyer made. And maybe it's just worth filing a new application. Because if you try to appeal, it may be the case that the judge will say, well, the immigration officer didn't make any mistakes. There was something lacking in your case, and therefore your appeal is not going to be allowed or approved. So it really is something you have to analyze very carefully as to how you're going to handle the appeal or reapplication. Now, if you do file an appeal, you have to know that there are deadlines. And again, depending upon the court, there could be a 15-day deadline or there could be a 30-day deadline, and in some cases it's a 60-day deadline. And every kind of case has its own deadline, so you have to really know what kind of case you have, and I'm sure you do, and you have to know when to file it. Because if you're late, in most cases you're out of luck. And then you have no options, at least no appeal options. Now, once the application is filed or the appeal is filed, there's a lot of paperwork that has to be submitted. And what happens usually is there's submissions that go back and forth between the lawyers and the lawyers for immigration, and the judge reviews the paperwork. And then eventually, if you're lucky, you can get what is called leave. Now, leave is a technical term, and all that really means is that the judge is willing to hear the case. And I can tell you, not always will the judge be willing to hear the case. So again, it depends on how strong your case is. So what I'm trying to say is that if your application is refused, you do have options. It doesn't mean you have to pack your bags and not come to Canada. You just have to know how to proceed. Thank you. I hope this was helpful, and have a good day.